25 years old, and he has a neighbor. His name is Dr. Raman Mishra. He is 64 years, and Mohit is a young journalist. He is doing journalism, and Dr. Raman Mishra was actually teaching journalism in a reputed institute, now retired, and most of the time he is actually studying books, and most of the time he is with the books. He has nothing to do with laptop or mobile or any kind of modern gadget. But this Mohit, very young, he is gizmo freak. Gizmo freak, I mean to say gadget lover. So he is always doing his research on different topics, like because Google is faster than human mind, we assume, but Google is still not very experienced than human experience. Google is not experienced than human experience. You are giving directions to the Google, and only then Google will show you something. Google cannot act as per its will, but human experience is little bit ahead than Google's regulation. Now there are two possibilities here. Generally the first possibility is they will think each other useless. It's not like only young generation is thinking old generation is useless. Old generation is equally thinking young generation is useless. Yes, because yeah, I will tell you, I will show you practical examples. Now they will never interact, although they are neighbors, they will never interact with each other. The chances of interaction is less because they think what this old man is doing. Old man will think what this young boy is doing, only copy paste from Google and nothing else. Now, there is another scenario. Imagine here. They interact with each other. They go for morning walk. Let us talk on some practical grounds. They can go for morning walk, and there they can exchange their ideas. They can have tea, coffee, or like on Sundays they can have some kind of get together. Now research has shown that Journal of Social Service Research this year, this paper has been published. Alone Mohit can contribute to 50%. Alone Dr. Raman can contribute to 60%. When they will get together with each other, they can contribute to more than 80% to some kind of work they are actually intending to do. So this shows that, what it shows actually, it shows that our productivity as an individual is more when we will connect ourselves with people, those who are more experienced. They have like spent a lot of time. They have fallen in the same pit. They have again risen from there. You are falling newly in the same pit. You don't know what is next, but they have left. They have crossed that particular phase, and they have what you say a good amount of experience. So it is all about sustainability of the future. What I mean by sustainability of the future is the entire planet Earth is moving to future. You imagine you have already grown up. You have already become old. You imagine like this. You will give something to the next generation. How can you give something good to the next generation if your current productivity is not optimum? Do you understand what is optimum productivity? Best productivity. Best productivity means if I am an engineer, then am I performing the best? Am I giving the best output in my work? So that is called as productivity. So United Nations, so now old and young generations work together. This is called as intergenerational solidarity. Intergenerational solidarity means old and young generation will come closer to each other. They will become friends and they will work together, and ultimately the product will be superior than if they are working alone. Now the question arises, why will I work with old people? Are they equal to me? They don't have energy. They are old. After 5 o'clock, they will say, "Give me coffee, I will go home. I have my grandchildren to look at. Why will I spend my time? I'm a young, energetic person. I mean to say, work is fun for me. I can work till 11 o'clock, endless, tiredless, I can work. But these old people, they don't have energy. Are they equal to us? Well, now let us again think here. This is a 100 years old cartoon. 100 years during the Victorian period. I collected it from, while I was doing research to give my talk over here. I was reading an article, from there I found this. It was designed by Robert Seymour, and you can see 3 generations here. 3 generations here, and they are in clash with each other. So, fighting with each other, different generations, it is an age-old problem. So, are they equal to us? Like, they will also put a question. These young kids in front of us, they have taken birth. In front of me, this guy was running in half pant. Today he is coming to office. Is he equal to me? They will also put this question. When you are saying that, is that old man having energy like mine? The old man will think, is this young guy who is newly doing this work, is he experienced? Is he having equal amount of talent that could compete mine? So he will or she will also, the old generation will ask. So both the generations should sit down and think, are they equal to each other, or should we use another term to replace this word equal? Equity. And this is, my friends, I am not proposing this new word. In 2022, 15th of August, International Youth Day, celebrated by United Nations, and last year the topic was Intergenerational Solidarity. And in that particular, you can visit their web page. In UN web page, they have actually given this word equity. What is equity? Now, this is a cartoon. Equality and equity. Equality means individuals, a group of people is given the same resources or opportunity. You give 10 hours to a young guy to work, 10 hours to an old guy to work. Definitely young guy will work more because a young guy has more energy. But that is not, here we should consider. We should consider equity. What is equity? Equity recognizes that each person has different circumstances and allocates the exact resources and opportunities needed to reach an equal outcome. You may give some more days. If the person is in senior, you can expect that if he is not helping you in 5 days, he may complete the work with you in 10 days because his circumstance is different. So here we should understand. Similarly, the old people will consider this is a new chap. He is not as fast as me. I have completed my entire life behind such kind of analysis. So I can do this very quickly. I can also give the forecasting. This might happen, that might happen. And this person is just bubbling with energy but without not having any kind of idea about the future. So I should also give him chance and opportunity. So this is called as equity. In intergenerational solidarity, we should understand the importance of equity instead of equality. Definitely, we can't be equal to the older generations because we are inexperienced and they cannot be equated, they are not even equal to us because due to age gap. Okay. So the United Nations has given this statement, we must collaborate to foster successful, equitable intergenerational relations and partnerships to ensure no one is left behind. So we should come together and this is the most boring slide for you people because this is little bit of data analysis. Now you could see here, I don't know if it is visible or not, that slide, the green shade shows that this is 25 to 64 years of people in the entire world by last year. So this 39 years of gap, most people in the entire world is actually between this 24 to 25 to 64 years, 39-40 years gap. So that means what? We have to do our work. We have lots of plan. Imagine Elon Musk is promising you to have a Mars vacation by 2050. How is it possible for him to achieve? We are dreaming to combat this COVID-19. So many young and old people working together in different research laboratories. I hail from a laboratory where myself, I am only 28 years old. I am working with scientists with we are very equal. That is equity is there. Not equal, equity is there. Those were more than 60. So how is this possible? This is possible only because when we understand our significance. The second graph is also showing by 2036. This is second one is from India. This is the Indian statistics. How by 2036 this young and old generations, the young generation will decline. By 2036 the old generation will increase by 2036. So this shows that it is high time we should understand the benefit that we could draw when we work together. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, the United Nations 2022 program to achieve sustainable development goals. What is sustainable development goals? The developments which will help us to sustain in the future. We are booming by like 60 billion will be the population by 2050. Global population 60 billion. 60 billion. So to achieve the requirements of that 60 billion, we have to increase our productivity. So that productivity enhancement is only possible if both the generations will work together in peace. Aren't they working? They are working. Obviously they are working. Old and young generation students, they have always worked together. The first institution is family. The first institution, organization is family. You see in a family, old and young people always they have worked together to form a beautiful thing, something called as family. But are we really seeing this thing today? Are we really seeing old people and young people, they have good cooperations? I don't have to stand here and talk about the family structural issues. We all know that these days we don't feel good when old people and young people fight in the family. We just want to end it as soon as possible. So from the family it starts. Young and old people should understand each other, should cooperate with each other, and should love each other and work together. We are thinking we can do a lot of things without old people. What these retired people could do? They could only find out mistakes in us. They are themselves incapable, and they are qualifying us. They are making us perfect, but themselves they are not experienced. So this mindset is breaking our tie with our older people in the family, and from there this mindset starts. We will not give opportunities to old people. We will bully old people. We will make fun of old people. And if an old guy is sitting in a badminton court and you all young guys are playing, you are just making fun of that person. So this thing has to be overcome. So Citizen Connect program, again, that we are actually currently experiencing, it is also a very good program, and this has all, under this particular topic I am presenting. Now let us come to some of the most important reasons. Why? This is research students. I am a scientist. So I will be always presenting what has been researched out. This is a disease. It is a psychological disorder. Like racism, sexism, we have ageism. Ageism means it is a kind of psychological, moral and by action discriminating between people of different ages. Now I'll ask you one question, all of you. How many of you actually just for once you have heard, ये आप तो बच्चे हो, आप क्या कर पाओगे, ये आपका एज हुआ है ये बोलने के लिए, जैसे बातचीत कर रहे हो जैसे कोई बूढ़ा बात कर रहा है, ये बच्चे हो क्या कर पाओगे? You must have heard. Raise your hand those who have never heard this kind of thing. Raise your hand those who have at least heard once this thing in your life. That you are a kid, you can't do this thing. You must have. I still do hear this from my father. When I suggest something at my home, my father still says me, you are a kid, what you know, you don't know anything how world works. Opposite is, when for example, and this thing you tell me, at your home, an old man or an old woman, an elderly person asks you how to use Facebook, how to handle Instagram, how to use this Instagram handle, how to download something from WhatsApp. I don't know. Can you please teach me? What is your reaction at that time? Generally, what we say is, why you are learning all these stupid things? You are age to do WhatsApp and Facebook. This is ageism. This is ageism. Has WhatsApp given some kind of special directions that this cannot be used by after this age? What has WhatsApp given? No. But you ask yourself, you go home today and ask yourself that what has given you this state of mind? Like you can only use this thing, they cannot. This is called as ageism, and this is a psychological problem. And believe me, 1 in 2 people are actually ages. That means 50% of the world population are suffering from this kind of attitude. If you count any randomly 2% here, one is an ageist. That is, chances are more. This is the reason why we are not coming to that highest level of human productivity that we must have reached. While we do so, now I am going to experience, I'll just come to the conclusion part of my talk. I just share my experience, like why we young generation generally think of people of elderly generations. They are not that much capable in a way to match our energy. For intellectually rigid, that they will say they know much more than us. Unproductive, forgetful, happy, whatever they are happy in that. They don't want to achieve anything. Generally, enjoying retirement, invisible, whatever, passive, uncomplaining. So these are some of the attitudes that generally we have as a preconcept, which is not true. There are elderly people, those who are more energetic than you all. They are younger than you psychomentally. You know, there is something called as an intelligent quotient. Do you know what is IQ? Can any one of you can tell me what is an IQ? What is IQ? You divide your brain maturity, your brain age, divided by your own your age, number of years that you have lived. You will get a particular. Now that brain age is actually got by some questions that will given to you. Some people, generally you should have good IQ. Some people, and when we age, it is seen that in the brain there is something called as glial cells. There is a special neuron in our brain called as glial cells. That glial cells will degenerate, will get destroyed. more glial cells will get destroyed, more aged you will be in your brain. That means your thought process. Einstein's brain, he actually, when his autopsy was carried out after death, the doctor who was doing the autopsy stole the brain and kept it secretly to do the research, like the brain of Einstein. And today also it's there in Smithsonian Museum in America. So in that they have found that at the age of 82, he was having glial cells like the age of 17. So that shows that our brain can become young if we are always engaged in work. So ageism has far-reaching impacts. Ageism, when we do ageism, students, we do ageism and we forget. But have you ever imagined how your elderly generations they are feeling about? What are the repercussions? How they are reacting to it? And this is gradually hammering them, and they want to move out from the family. They want to move out, and they just want to group. Birds of same feathers flock together. They will make a group and they will discuss about. You must have seen that a pack full of old people sitting in the park and discussing against the young people. What these young people. So this has come up. They could contribute to something to this society, but they are not contributing, or they are not coming to a position where they could contribute, because for our attitude. We force them to believe that they are now retired and they cannot do anything. So this attitude is actually destroying the limbs of our society, making us partially paralyzed. How to combat it? Well, this is UN taken from United Nations, policy, law, education, so many big things are there, but I will not talk about big things. I will try to talk to you as a human being, because to love, to develop that affection, to respect, we don't need any lecture. We don't need any directions. As human beings, no one has taught us to love. It is from inside. If you will love, if you will understand their values, if you will get connected, you will automatically respect them. So I will just speak up to them. I will just say 5 tips, 5 points, and with that I will end my talk. Just 5 things and what I feel very much important. First thing that is very important is we don't speak to them as if they belong to some other planet. This is a book of mine which was published in US in 2016 when I was a student. And listen, smile, look at me and speak calmly. I am all your family. So this is a line that I have taken from my book. It is all about speaking. You know, when we talk, when we interact, when we look into someone's eye, we have 50% our interaction is over. Just a look at someone who is elderly and a smile, enough. 50% interaction over. Even we don't give a proper look. We feel looking at someone who is elderly is so painful. Even we don't look at them. When you speak, your words talk to yourself. Again, this is a line from my book. And the sketch is also I have done. This is my sketch. You know, when we talk, the first person to listen to you is you yourself. You are listening to yourself. When you speak rudely to a person, to an elderly person, you make a bully of that person. Don't think that you have bullied, you have championed and you have left that part. You have heard yourself. There is a person inside you that is called as conscience. The conscience has heard you, and when the conscience has heard you, that conscience will punish you in the future. So remember, next time when you are speaking, you are hearing first, you are hearing yourself, then others are hearing. Engage in the world, do some activities, Go with them and get groceries, as madam was saying that they are elderly persons, they do shopping. You go with them. They engage. This is like, I always go and get engaged with the elderly people around my communities when I get time. And this book, when I was a kid students, almost all the publishers rejected my book. I even write, as I was saying, after my science, I do sociological, philosophical research and write down books. India rejected, all the publishers rejected. I went to US for my educational purpose, and there in the US, an old man, he was at that time in his 80s, now he's in his 90s. This old man came, took interest in my work, and we became good friends. He is my best friend in US today. And we published this book. So you need to get engaged with people. And believe me, it's a very good thing to have friends. But if you make an elderly person as a friend, you will be doubly benefited. How? The person will give you matchless gifts. What are the matchless gifts? Experience. You cannot get it by yourself by reading 100 books or making 100 friends. So this is the benefit of having an elderly person as a friend. Be positive. You talk to them in a positive light. If they have actually humiliated, I'm not saying they're always correct, they are right, they are good. I'm not saying. They may hurt you. But be silent. Don't speak up immediately at that time. Be positive. Optimism is the horizon that nestles the sun of human brilliance. You have to be always optimistic. This is the brilliant example. Santanu Naidu and Ratan Tata ji. They are best friends. You must have seen in Instagrams, they are like cutting cakes and roaming around. They are best friends. Is Santanu Naidu not having young friends? Definitely is having young friends. But he is so brainy that he thought that it is always wise to have Ratan Tata ji as a friend. So that is why he has actually gone to an excellent level. Be as independent as you can, and that's a concept of learned helplessness. This is like, oh my God, if I am not helped by my senior or my some elderly person, then my career is doomed. So you depend on that person, and that person is not somehow helping, and you will start cursing them. You will ask an elderly grandparent to do something, and that person, if not giving you something, you immediately start cursing that person. Come out from this attitude. You can be his or her friend, an elderly person, but don't expect a lot. It is because we all have flaws. You see the waning and waxing phases of the moon. We all have recognized and accept your weakness. You can't turn a weakness into a strength if you are busy denying the weakness exists. Both the old generation and the young generation, both of them, they have weakness. We have to admit it. We have to reconcile between ourselves. We have to reconcile. We have to develop that hybridization. You know, hybridization means two different things will come together. We worship Lord Shiva. In Hinduism, Sama Karoti iti Shankaraha. That means the one who combines two opposite things together. You will see Lord Shiva, snake, he is having snake, and his son Kartikeya having peacock. So all this, if you will see Shiva family, all counteracting things present at one point. Still all in bliss. Still all in happiness. Because they have reconciled oppositely acting force at one place, and that is why it has become Shiva family. So we have to do this. Surround yourself with younger and older people. This is needless to say. Volunteer, join in different activities. You talk with them, interact with them. So this will help you to grow. That means what you will become at at your, like you all said, you all are in 22. What you could all become at 44, you could easily become at 25 or 26. That experience I'm talking about, not physical assets, I'm talking about the experience. So, us, we make, this is my another book which is published, we are getting to publish this in US with Vincent. Us, we make a living body whom we call the society. You, me, we all are its functional limbs. Let's initiate its service from within and then to our family, to our neighbors, to the road on which we walk, to the plant which provides us oxygen, to the soil which provides us food, rivers that have quenched the thirsts of our ancestors and are continuing the task today, to every service providers and to the place where we perform our duty. This is the anthem of social responsibility. So this is from my meditation book that is going to come, and the anthem of social responsibility. In that entire anthem, one line that is very important is intergenerational solidarity. So I hope that you will understand this. At the outset, I should also want to thank the organizers for this excellent topic for the discussion. Thank you very much, sir, for inviting me. Because I do know that how difficult it is to get a lecture in the afternoon, and it is really boring. But I think I'm not boring, and I have given some good inspirational things to you. Thank you so much.